Hi, and welcome back for Living Authentically. We're now in week 9 with the recordings from the series that I've been doing this year as I'm diving deeply into looking at what it means to me to live authentically, meaning how do I make sure that I'm showing up as my authentic self for myself in all areas of my life. And we're in the end of May as I'm recording this now. We're about to have Memorial Day weekend this weekend, and school is about to be out if it's not already out in a lot of areas. And so people are already in the mindset that it's summer. And we know that in the Northern Hemisphere, technically it's not summer until the third week of June. So I want to talk a little bit more about spring since we are technically still in the season of spring. And one of the things that we do in spring is we do a little extra cleaning, the spring cleaning thing. And I've been doing some of that. I've been clearing out things in the yard, and I've been looking at things in the house, the garage, and just places where we can kind of stir up some energy, move things out that aren't working for us anymore, and create space for new things. Well, one of the things that I decided to do this year was dig into a closet that turned out to have 34 plus years of materials in it. There were children's toys, there were awards, yearbooks, all kinds of things in this closet. And one of the things that's really fun about digging into a space like that is you get to travel down memory lane. You get to sometimes, as I did, discover things that you didn't even know you owned, that you had ever owned or that you still owned. And one of the things that I found in my closet was a box of things that I had stuck up on a shelf that were mementos that my mother had kept. It's been many years since my mom passed on now, and I guess I just stuck that up there at some point when I was shifting things around in some other year of spring cleaning. And it was really nice to open the box and see news clippings with cousins, to see baby pictures of people, and also to see through my mother's eyes what had been important to her as a mother to keep, as a grandmother to hold on to. And it gave me a way of looking at my mother and seeing her as I would think of myself as a mother or a grandmother, what would be important to me to keep and what was important to my mom. And it was very heartwarming to see some of the things from my earliest childhood days that were in this box that my mom had kept, especially considering that she had moved 1,700 miles across the country and shipped these boxes to be here before she moved. So these things had to be of utmost importance to her. And as I was going through these memories, I started thinking about the power of memories to bring healing to us, to raise our vibration. And as I was thinking about recording for this evening, I wanted to talk about that and about an exercise that I use with my clients and my students to help them bring the energy that comes to us from memories into our present day life to give us more power and more joy. But before I take you through the exercise, I want to tell you what memory came up for me today. So as I was thinking about this, I suddenly had this memory that has not been here in eons, and it's one of the most happy, joyful memories from my childhood. We lived in a house that had a really long backyard, and it kind of started off flat, and then it crested, and it dipped down, and then it went off for a while in another flat area. And then way beyond that, there were some bushes and trees, apple trees, pear trees, and behind a hedge, there was like a garden kitchen. It just wasn't very close to the kitchen. Beyond that, there was a water area that would freeze over, and we would skate on that in the winter. And the memory that came up for me today was one of just me and my mom. And I was really young. I was preschool age. And it was spring, and my brother was in school. And my mom and I were in the garden. And the garden was really kind of a magical place for me when I was growing up because my mom had been raised on a farm. And so she just had such a heart for growing vegetables and then being able to harvest and, use what she had harvested for our meals. And so she was also my first teacher, and she was a very natural teacher when it came to things of the earth. And so we were in the garden, and we were harvesting something for that day. I don't know what would have been in the Northeast on that particular day. And my mom noticed that storm clouds were coming in. So she decided we better get up and get ourselves back to the house. And it was quite a hike from the garden to the house, especially if you've got a little one and you're trying to carry a bunch of produce. And as we came out of the garden area and we were heading back up to the house, I don't know which one of us, but one of us looked down and we saw a buttercup. And you know how the light can be really interesting when a storm is on its way, the clouds are coming and they're dark, but where the sun does come through, it seems to be so intense, shining on the things around it. And this little buttercup was just like a little piece of gold in the grass. And my mom stopped and she told me to pick it. And she told me to hold it under my chin, because there's an old folklore that says if you hold a buttercup under your chin and it reflects yellow on your chin, that means you love butter. Well, my mom and I didn't need for me to hold a buttercup under my chin to know that I loved butter. But it was just a wonderful moment of her passing on the things that had been fun little things that she did as a child. As I said, the folklore that's passed on from one generation to another. And as we stood there laughing and giggling, my mom then rushed into the house with her arms full of the produce and told me I needed to get into the house because it was on the verge of raining. And I stood there for another few minutes with the garden to my right and the house to my left and the stormy clouds up above with that buttercup in my hand. And when I remember it now, I can feel exactly how I felt. All of the contentment and the safety and security I felt in that moment, the joy that I felt being part of the earth and having that moment in the garden with my mom, the mystery around that little yellow buttercup, and then looking up at that stormy cloud, those dark clouds and the light shining through, and the tension of that impending storm, and feeling so connected to my roots and my ancestry through the story that my mom shared with me, being connected to the earth and the gardening we've been doing, knowing that I was cherished by my mom, that she would stand there and take that moment to laugh and giggle with me and spend that time with me. And then also understanding that I was part of a power that was so much beyond and greater than my little body in that moment, with the power of that storm coming in. And as I go into that memory, I can immerse myself in those feelings and I can bring those feelings forward into my present day. And I can let that help me remember the truth about who I am. I am part of something greater than myself. I am loved. I am cherished. I am connected to the earth. I am connected to my ancestors. I am a part of all that is, of divine source. And that helps me in any time that I'm feeling low or uncertain about myself. So I'd like to offer you that as an activity during this recording. If you are interested, I'll ask you to sit now with your back straight but not stiff and your eyes closed, and take a deep breath in and out. And just let all of your energy gently collect around your heart. Take another deep breath in and out, and silently tell your body to relax. And now, breathing into that heart space, allow a springtime memory to come forward for you. And it could be something recent as last week or yesterday, or it could be something like my memory from decades ago. And as that memory comes forward, move into the feelings of that memory. Really just step into it as I described in my personal example. And allow yourself to be fully immersed in those feelings, in those positive, happy, joyful feelings. And if what we would call a negative feeling comes forward, Just breathe that out with your next breath and let it go. And turn your focus back to those positive, good feelings. And as you become fully immersed in those feelings, then I invite you to consider what information that can give you about yourself, about who you truly are. What is it about yourself that you know based on the feelings from that memory? And breathe those in into every cell of your body until you feel full to overflowing with that knowledge of who you truly are. And whenever that feels complete, take a deep breath in and out, and come back into your space in this time and place. And open your eyes. If that was too quick for you, then go back with the video, rewind and pause. I hope that that was helpful for you. I hope that it brought you the same type of empowerment that that kind of exercise brings for me. And you can do that with any type of memory that you have. Remembering that as we go in and access the feelings from those happy times, that we can bring power into our present day to give us a higher vibration and a more open heart for today, for this week, or for any part of our life moving forward. So I hope that that's been helpful for you as I've experienced this week and been joyful in the reminder of that for myself. If you can use help in moving forward, releasing things that need to be released, or bringing that empowered feeling forward in your life for things that you hope to achieve, it would be my honor to help you to do that, either in private sessions or in groups. My name is Sherry Kaufman. I'm a Reiki Master Practitioner Teacher. I'm a DNA Theta Healing Practitioner Instructor, as well as an Aroma Freedom Practitioner Instructor. You can reach me through my website, empoweredjoy.com, or you can email me at kaufmansherry@gmail.com. Thanks for being with me this week, and I'll see you back next time. Bye now.